What's going on, No Nation? CJ Wilson here with Doe Talk, here to bring you some interesting information in regards to the transfer portal. You have high school recruiting going on, and you have transfer portal recruiting going on as well. FSU hosted a couple of recruits on campus in regards to the transfer portal. We'll get to those guys in a second. But first, Dope Talk is brought to you by DASH.FI, the modern charge card for digital ad spend. DASH.FI is a business-to-business corporate expense card program that gets you the highest cash back on the market starting at 3%. Most programs usually give you 1.5. We're going to double that up with DASH.FI at 3%. If you're not getting cash back on your your business to business purchases, what exactly are you doing? Apply for the DASH.FI MasterCard today, and we do have that link in the in the description. But yeah, FSU is pretty active in the transfer portal right now. Something we've been really active with the last couple of years. Had an official visit this weekend for a couple of prospects. Has FSU found their replacement for Jordan Travis as far as the quarterbacks within the transfer portal? We had two on campus. We're going to go ahead and start off with Cam Ward, the Washington State quarterback transfer. He was on campus for an official visit to FSU from Thursday to Saturday. Enjoyed his official visit. Think things went very well. He was very attentive on the official visit. Answered a lot of questions in regards to what FSU had to offer him, and also just him answering questions to FSU in regards to his knowledge of the games and things like that. There was a lot of football talk going on. I think Cam Ward really enjoyed that, and also just being around the guys on campus and seeing how things are ran at FSU. I think that left a pretty good impression on Cam Ward. He had a pretty interesting quote as far as his exit interview for FSU, and the quote reads, it's FSU. They're a 13-0 team this year. I feel like I could add my piece to the puzzle and do my part. So that was pretty interesting as well. He also had some other interesting quotes in regards to the chemistry between Martin Norvell and being in Tallahassee, how the college field and just playing in Doak Campbell Stadium, a big time college football atmosphere. He did visit the Miami Hurricanes prior as well. They're another player within this recruitment. Cam stated he's not going to take any visits at this point in time. So I do think currently, it's the FSU and Miami battle for transfer quarterback Cam Ward. We'll see how things play out. I do think FSU position themselves really well in regards to showing the plan for Cam Ward and letting him know that, hey, you could be a possible missing piece for the 2024 season and try to continue the success from the 23 season and try to make a playoff run in 24 as it does expand into a 12-team playoff. Cam Ward had 3,700 yards and 25 touchdowns at Washington State to go along with 7 interceptions. He also had 8 rushing touchdowns as well. So, you have 33 total touchdowns and seven interceptions for Cam Ward. Now, something for me just personally that we have to keep an eye on for Cam Ward, I think he does need to cut down on the turnovers, specifically fumbles. And that's just a coaching thing, in my opinion. I feel like if he does end up choosing FSU, Coach Mike Norvell and Tony Tozart, the quarterback coach, do a good job of coaching ball security and things like that. That could factor in a lot of things at Washington State. It could be just trying to do too much as far as being the best player on the field and trying to do too much to secure wins. And sometimes with that, you could be loosey-goosey with the ball and have it loose in regards to defenders coming to stripping and things like that. At Florida State, you have a lot of weapons around, so you don't have to do too much. And also, like I said, just ball security coaching by the staff will be something to look out for. But I do think FSU is in a very good position with Cam Ward. And also another quarterback recruit, rather, I guess you could say, with Trent within the transfer portal. Oregon State's quarterback DJU, who was also recently the Clemson Tigers quarterback for the 2023 season. Once Oregon State's head coach ended up leaving Oregon State for the what job was that? The Michigan State job, if I'm not mistaken. DJU decided to enter the portal, and FSU was a team that he was looking for as far as a transfer possibility. 6'5", 250 pounds. He's not as Cam Ward isn't as big as DJ, 6'2", 220, but still pretty nice size in his own right. Both of these guys are bigger prospects than what Jordan Travis was, but at 6'5", 250 pounds, DJ is an opposing runner, physical guy, used a lot of in short yardage situations, 4th and 1, 4th and goals, and things like that. I like DJ a lot. 2,600 yards over at Oregon State, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and go along with 6 rushing touchdowns. Similar numbers as well as Clemson before he decided to transfer. And I know people may not, I guess you could say, there's some of the issues at his Clemson days try to hold that against DJ. I feel like more so that was against the system at that point in time and offensive coordinator who was at Clemson back then. I don't feel like they used DJ to the best of his abilities as far as the system and things like that. And Clemson did ended up getting rid of their offensive coordinator for the after the 2022 season, leading up to the 2023 season. They hired TCU's offensive coordinator. So again, I feel like system wise, FSU is a very good fit for DJU. He has some good things to say as well. As far as his visit to FSU. Quick quote from DJ. So for me, it's been a great honor to be able to come here at Florida State. All the questions I had, they answered for me. So I think FSU is in a pretty good spot for both quarterbacks, Cam Ward and DJ. We'll just see how it plays out in regards to that. Those guys, I could feel like a decision could come within the coming weeks for those guys as they sit down and sit down and look at the pros and cons in regards to each visit. DJ does not have any visits scheduled post FSU, but again, we'll see how that plays out. I think FSU is in a really good position with both quarterbacks in regards to like I said, been in a good position to get either one of the quarterbacks, whether it's Cam Ward or DJU. I think either or would do really good for FSU as far as what we need for the 2024 season. Both guys will do enough, and I think have enough experience to come to FSU and take an offense that's pretty good under Mike Norvell and maintain that. So again, if you put a gun in my head and ask me to choose between either quarterback, I like either one of them. I wouldn't be mad if FSU signed one or the other. But Ken Ward probably has more of a big play potential as far as his arm, real live arm, and things like that. But DJU is a really good player in his own right. Can run the ball, brings a different element. 6'5", 250 pounds. Something FSU really hasn't had in a while at quarterback. You got to go back to a Jameis Winston type of guy. And even then, I think DJU was more of a willing runner than what Jameis was at that point in time, too. One more transfer portal visit we had for an official visit this upcoming weekend. This is a name that's kind of familiar with Nole Nation. Marvin Jones Jr., the former five-star defensive end from the University of Georgia. He did end up entering the transfer portal. This is a guy that a lot of FSU fans remember as far as that recruitment. His dad was all-time great at FSU. Former linebacker Marvin Jones Sr., top 5 pick within the NFL draft, buckets winning, things like that. So big time playmaker, one of the best linebackers in FSU history. And not just Marvin Jones also, man. He has his cousin and his uncle that played at FSU as well. So pretty much this is a big time legacy for FSU just from a family perspective. But Marvin Jones Jr., 6'5", 250 pounds. He was a 5-star recruit within the 2022 cycle. FSU did a really good job of recruiting him. I think it came down to FSU and Georgia for that final decision, but ended up electing to go with the Georgia Bulldogs. Into the transfer portal. I feel like scheme-wise, it wasn't the best fit for Marvin Jones Jr. to go to FSU. They typically run a 3-4 type of scheme defense and want the pass rushers to stand up in certain situations, kind of similar to Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson was a 4-down type of lineman, rush the pass, to pin your ears back, and get to the quarterback. I think Marvin Jones is in a similar liking. As you guys see, Jermaine Johnson came from Georgia and flourished at FSU and being a full-time pass rusher. Look at Jared versus Patrick Payne, just the defensive ends that FSU has used over the years in the type of defense we run. I feel like our system would be very good for Marvin Jones Jr. Big-time playmaker. Still has a lot of years. I think he has 3 years left to play. We can see if that potential can be untapped. Dynamic athlete. Just have to live up to it. And also, this is something to note as well. He's from American Heritage down in Fort Lauderdale area, American Heritage High School. Patrick Surtain Sr. was his head coach in high school. As you guys know, Patrick Surtain is the current defensive back coach for FSU. So again, we'll say that plays out. Other schools that's kind of in the mix for Marvin Jones Jr., the Miami Hurricanes. His brother is a defensive back for the Miami Hurricanes. So I think FSU is in a good spot for Marvin Jones Jr. Again, so could FSU have their future quarterback for the 2024 season? I think they're in a very good spot with Ken Ward and DJU. And also, like I said, we got Marvin Jones Jr. and a couple other guys that will be announced pretty soon as far as visits and things like that. From the defensive front, I think FSU is going to be in pretty good hands. Again, this was On the Trail, and On the Trail is brought to you by Realtor Jude Paul. Jude is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but services the entire state of Florida. Again, whether you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is your guy. Buy your home or sell your home, Jude is your guy. You can reach out to Jude at www.homesfornoles.com. If you're trying to buy or sell, 20% of the closing cost goes back to you. Again, stay with us at Dope Talk. We're going to have a lot more portal news and things like that coming pretty soon. As you guys know, FSU is going to get really active in the transfer portal within the coming weeks. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.